Oh my gosh, I'm sitting on the grass like a hippie. And there's nobody anywhere near me. I fucking love that. Construction guys over there, it's loud noise. It repels the old and their tendency toward floating by you while you're trying to make a video, and you're like, how are you so nearby me with so much distance? God damn it. How did this happen? Anyway, I should be thankful, like Aaron Clary keeps reminding me, that there are other people, such as the construction guys, because it looks like they're doing something pretty important over there. And my little walkies. I need the road. I need my little walkie trail. Give me a second. All right. So for one, I just wanted to first touch on, there's been a number of people who have been trying to discuss the January 6th sham. Destiny was doing the actually, did you hear the testimony that went uncontested by any cross-examination or any real analysis of the veracity of the evidence about how about this, when this person with uncorroborated statements said that Trump said this? So I just want to point out to everybody, let's see. Oh no, you cannot see it, can you? No, it's too dark. Okay, well, this is The Service, Reinhard Galen's memoir. I was going to keep digging. I'm realizing, no, it's going to be 3/4 of the way through, you're going to find the platinum, the vein of platinum. I've already found where he is talking to Dr. Globka, either Prime Minister or Chancellor Adenauer of Germany. So it's the head of the Reich's intelligence, Eastern Front, that would be Ukraine, after World War II, with the person who designed the entire legal and economic structure of the Reich, and the one who came up with the Nuremberg race laws, after the war, talking to one of the chief reconstructors of the federal German state, Chancellor or Prime Minister Adenauer, to discuss how they're keeping the project going. The Greater Germany project going. That is what the EU is. Ukraine is like, so Russia put us on to all this stuff. This is the part about Russian propaganda that I like repeating. Russia put us onto this back when YouTube was fun. Literally a decade ago, when there was all kinds of weird old, like Bircher Society stuff that you could still find, and like lots of weird historical stuff and shows, anti-communist shows, and that stuff about this guy had come up. You could still find, there's channels that go over Globka and all of them, and these people who lived after the war. But basically, most of the power structure we see right now, in America, the foothold for this was the Bush family. Were the Dulles brothers and the Bush family then started the CIA. So this is why people like, and this is all known, well known. There's not debate about this anymore. It's just, people like Destiny are still in the stage of, they're still little guys. They're still little guys who think small. When it comes to power, they don't realize what Trump was threatening. And Trump won. This is the whole thing, is Trump won. Because this wasn't just Trump. The world is now breaking into regions. And regions will decide how they deal with fuel and energy. The region known as Western Europe is going to eventually either dig for more fucking oil in the North Sea, and that they're going to have to pay Britain for that. And that's going to enrich Britain, and that's a big reason why no one's doing it, is because normal British people will gain wealth And that's the whole key. The whole key about energy extraction is normal people who learn skills get rich. That's the thing. So all these people who are already rich don't want that to happen. That's also a thing that somebody like Destiny, I think he kind of gets, but I don't think he really gets it, because he doesn't really, he, like Tim Pool, will not deal with the authoritarian. They won't deal with the criminal mind. So this also really is now something, too, that now the feminists are starting to find this out. Feminists also are terrible about dealing with the criminal mind, about the socio and psychopath. So they don't see these people who will game them. And they've been gamed. Feminism is over. It's been completely defeated. Completely and totally felted, tabled, and then escorted out of the casino. Feminism has been escorted out of the casino and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. You shouldn't be here. You see, look, we already have plenty of women here in the casino." And they point, and it's a bunch of dudes in dresses. Straight up, word up, fuck you. You have literally had, so this is not even, it won't matter what people want to say about this. You're trying not to be a bitch, but you're a bitch. Trannyism is white, middle class, children of college-educated moms. Maybe this is a single mom, maybe not. Successful mom, maybe not. Very likely kind of a success mom. Like, these are women who their child shouldn't be broken. Their child should not be that fucking broken, and they are. And so the drug dealers of society are there to save mommy from her little monster. Just like when they start putting kids on Ritalin and start putting kids on, was it Adderall? So mommy doesn't have to deal with her little fucking monster. Mommy's tired and she doesn't want to deal with it. So put the fucking kid on drugs. The teachers, all these female teachers, they're tired, and these kids, blah blah blah, put them on fucking drugs. That's what feminism taught everybody. It was about drugs, and that girls get to party, and then they get to put everybody on drugs, and then they get to blame the men for all the problems so that the men just stay quiet or vanish. And now you hoes are all alone. And guess what? The fucking savages have shown up. Look at this with BLM. Look at what the fuck happened here. A bunch of fucking lesbians run this fucking game with the help of a bunch of Democrats at Act Blue. So they run game on all of you stupid white punk motherfuckers. They take your fucking money, and now women aren't safe in these cities. You can't investigate rape in Seattle. You don't have adequate policing levels for the largest top 10 major cities of America, if I remember right now the numbers. The top 10 major cities of America, these are blue enclaves. You motherfuckers don't have enough police for the requisite protection of the, and public safety. Feminists, where are the feminists? You can now constitutionally carry. Where are you? Where are your militias, feminists? You are always talking about, you're always posing with pictures of bats, trying to look tough, trying to look like a bunch of dudes, trying to look like a bunch of locos, trying to look like a bunch of skinheads or something. You know, you can't even do Skinbird right anymore. You can't even do Skinbird right anymore. That's the one that gets me. You don't even see real hot Skinbirds anymore. With all this 80s look back, with all this, woman that, none of you can even, like, conjure that look up. It's so fucking sad how, like, nothing good from the past, nothing good from, like, the last 30 years has come back and has lasted. It's like us Gen Xers went retro. We pulled some stuff. Some of it was good, but some of it was crappy. but holy crap, at least we had that sense of style. At least we had that sense of style. Holy shit, just hurt. The whole feminist thing looks hurt now. And then to have these women, like, you can't, that literally feminism is now arguing on, in, like, the how, in, was it, congressional hearings, arguing like a teenage fucking girl, like a teenager arguing with her papa about what a woman is and if women can get pregnant if they happen to have been born with balls and a dick. I'm loving this. You've been felted, feminists. You don't exist. You don't exist. You don't show up any place except for abortion. You're literally just like people who want to drug up little boys, chop the tits off little girls, and kill babies. You're never there to deal with the fact that no police force in the biggest democratic enclaves can deal with their rape investigations. That, and then even beyond that, how the journalists have fucked you. That now feminism is about trannies. You can't unbind them. You lesbians and the trannies, you're like this, you're the same thing. Lesbo-tran, tran-lesbo, lesbo-tran-tran. Lesbians aren't a thing. You're just a derivative of trannies. That's what it is. Because they're important and you're not. You see, because there's that 10-year-old girl in the abortion story, and it turns out that it all had to do with, like, illegal immigrant. And so what's really important isn't that a 10-year-old was raped and nobody did anything about it. And that there's all these adults who were involved and didn't do anything about the fact that somebody raped a 10-year-old. No. What really matters is that she was inconvenienced on getting the pregnancy terminated. That's the real crime here. Amazing. That you all can't even, you can't present a model of justice that makes any fucking sense to almost anyone probably in the modern world outside of you guys. So that means it's irrational. It's fundamentally irrational. And this is now the beauty of it. It's over. Feminism is over. It's this weird, like, not existent movement for irrational chicks. That it has no principles that it actually relies on in any way, shape, or form. Other than at some point we might show up and complain about something and look stupid while doing it. Then there's that. Why you all protest in these ways that you look like morons? Covering yourselves in paint, bleeding, free bleeding, and just all these things where I'm like, do you not understand that you look either insane or kind of stupid? And where are you when you're demanding that? Do you not get open constitutional carry shouldn't have to be a thing if there wasn't this sliver of men in society that were very, very violent. But that's the other part. Then there's that. There's that. There's all the people who, there's a pattern of who assaults you. There's a pattern. Who assaults you? Who rapes you? What exactly are the women who never, ever, they're like, where? Crime? Where? I never, oh my gosh, somebody had a crime committed against them? Where does that lady live? That lady lives in the countryside with her white husband, who she didn't divorce. He's not a second husband. He's not a partner. He's not a boyfriend. He's a husband. Those are the safest women who have the longest, healthiest lifespans. And the more you emulate that, the more you're like, I stayed with my husband, had 2 to 3 children, and lived in the exurbs, and had a small circle of friends and had a small circle of friends mostly built around something very normal and natural to my community. That's it. I mean, that's it, because that's normal life, of course. And everyone wants to be special. They want to be a bad bitch. God, that one. oh my God, I'd be so badass. And it's like, what do you mean badass? What does that even mean? Like, I remember thinking that one time where I kept hearing young millennial women say that. I'm like, what do you mean by that would be badass? Like, what? Or you want to be badass? What is that? What? And that's not a quality. And then I started to really think about it. I'm like, women say all these words now that don't mean anything. Like, they aren't real words for stuff. And that's like become extremely normal. So there's this part of me that I've had to sit back, and I was sitting there and I'm like, then I was thinking about making this. And then the ultimate moment, and it's this thing that keeps happening, where it's like, I'm like, Lord, okay, feels like we're taking a lot of L's. Am I not seeing the W here? Are you giving me a W that I just don't see? Lord, just tell me. Because every time I ask the universe that is there something more, you keep giving me these little signs. You keep telling me these little things. I never believed in you, and then you gave me just a hint you were listening. Now I believe. So this is sad. I understand the tragedy now, Lord. I get it. We're so frail. We're so fragile. We need each other so bad. I think about that sometimes, that there's women who they can't sleep at night. This is a well-known thing in America. Established, educated. She's got a nice bed and a nice place, a nice pad, and she can't sleep at night. And I think she reaches out with some part of her heart and is like, is there anyone? I need someone so bad. Where it seems us men, because our lives are short and violent, far too often, it's almost a little unfair. I ask, and he comes to me. Not always exactly the way I think, but I always feel like I have a friend who's there, a dad who's there. It might help that my parents are gone, so many of my friends have passed on, that I have this romantic thing going on with it. But it's a feeling, and that's the whole point. That's what all these mystics and theologians are like, no, that's the point. It starts from your feelings. But then you must use your rational mind to understand, to put it into words and images. Because that is understanding. It is feminine in nature. It is beautiful in image and word and form. It's fundamentally beautiful in its form that it takes. There's a formlessness, this thing that can't be named, that is something about us men. That is represented by, we reflect God's wisdom in this. It seems to come from nowhere. It seems to come from a memory. As men systematizing, our mind systematizes things. Women feel. But also, their mind is looking for little tiny details. That feeling tells them a lot, if they have wisdom. So, I think about that it's sad to know that there's now all these women who've succeeded so much, and they've been just fucking felted. The dollar is losing value. They're living the lifestyle of a successful person. That's a lot of credit. It's a lot of payments on things. They have to have a professional look all the time. They've been disciplined. And now no men will touch them. Men won't look at them. Men from 27 through 40 will kind of entertain the idea. But you see, these women now have had an entire generation of insanity implanted in their mind. And even if they come out of it, they look around and they're like, oh God, what has happened? When they look and they see anything can be done to a woman in this society as long as the person who does it is Muslim, black, an illegal immigrant, or some group that you're not supposed to be angry with. Oh, don't get angry with us. We just like, had our secret police helping this guy take little Gentile girls to his island and enjoy a nice night with the president. We call it the presidential. We call it the presidential treatment. Don't get mad at us, or we will accuse you of things. Don't get mad at us because we just happen to work for Act Blue, and it's kind of a, on-the-nose name, if you know what I'm saying, but just because no black people actually got any money and the Gentiles came out of pocket like fucking suckers, doesn't mean that you should maybe think that a propensity, an overly large number of certain kinds of people in the front office on the Act Blue page had anything to do with this. This couldn't have been a foreign operation to destabilize the United States and maybe get into the energy market that we recently, that some countries that recently obtained oil fields in the Mediterranean might be able to get into. If America is weak, there are many, 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 many interests that get strong. And now you feminists, your movement is weak. Your movement is weak. What will you do for women? You will do nothing. Don't worry, you will do nothing. You will just get mad. I could already detect, I have a detector in my mind of the future, and in the future I'm detecting much through the power of stragglenomics and because of the funky dividends, I totally foresee the hoes will be mad. Yes, the hoes will be mad. The hoes will be mad. That feminism has totally failed you. And nobody on the right really is happy about this. This is the whole thing. We're not happy. MGTOW men, we're finding our happiness. We're trying to be happy with our lives because you don't like us. Women don't like men. That's what it is. Women don't really like men unless women have been in a normal family where they had brothers and male cousins or a dad or something where they could understand men in some way. They could actually put words and images to, no, men don't really, they do this and that irritates us, but you see, it's because they're different, and when they do this, it's not out of malevolence, it's literally they don't know that it irritates women, but no, it's, and that you all have had every opportunity. This is the best, one of the best parts of it all, is women now openly talk about how men don't like this and I love doing it because men don't like it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm so proud of so many young women now coming with the straight talk. No cap, no cap, no cap, no cap, no cap. That you're coming with the straight talk about how you like making men angry. You like, and I just got to tell you, there is kind of an unwritten rule of the lower end of MGTOW men where, they know they don't got much going for them. Why should they make women happy? What's the point? They receive no joy from it because, you see, men receive joy as we mature, we receive joy by seeing other people happy a lot of times. It really is, it's supernatural, that kind of feeling when you've made other people happy, and really happy. But the fact that, we have to go so far to even make you like us, or even, I mean, like the handshake thing on Twitter, that was another one. I was going to make this video, and then suddenly the handshake thing on TikTok or Twitter, where the black man puts his hand out and no woman will touch it, but all these dudes who don't know who he is shake his hand. I'm like, that's honor. Because that's fucking honor. You're not afraid of shaking a man's hand. A man has put his hand out. Shake it. Be a fucking man. Like, show him some honor. If he didn't look homeless, you'd shake his hand. I shook in the hand of even homeless guys. Like, I remember seeing this woman, like, shocked off in the distance, because it was COVID time. She's there with her fat ass and her fucking saddlebags and a fucking mask on, looking pasty as shit. Beauty. Now, white, middle-class, college-educated boys have felted feminism. Totally felted it. Completely and totally felted it. And that white, college-educated boys now run all of the left and get to tell black men what to do and how Hispanics should think. And I'm loving this. I am loving how, like, you are on the plantation. You are full deal plantation ass fucking petticoat junction hoes now. That anyone could do whatever they like to you, and you can do nothing now. And you will do nothing. You will never actually fight back in a way that's effective. You will never vote Republican. You don't get it. You don't get that if you have opportunity, then you have power. The ability to do things gives you the ability to move. This is why you should know more about what men do. It's the stone game, one of the most widely practiced games in the fucking world. And when you are going to be defeated, you are first put in Atari, or you're surrounded, Atari. And you can't move. That's the first point at which you are going to be defeated, and it's declared. You are coming to Atari. It has to be said. I think it has to be said out loud. That somebody says Atari, and because I think there's points for it, if I remember correctly. And so the person has an opportunity, has pretty much only so many ways out. Once their stones are surrounded, you're surrounded now. You have put yourself in Atari, and feminism has no way out. You are associated with nothing but grift and failure, and then this weird end of racial politics where you will not talk about who commits what crimes. You won't talk about it. You won't talk about the Democratic enclaves and the fact that they can't deal with the amount of rapes they already had on the books. And how bad they are at prosecuting this. And that, this has nothing to do with the inordinately large number of diverse humans who live there. Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Now, maniacs can shoot at women and assault women, and when the police kill that maniac, because he's black, white, middle-class, college-educated dudes dressed up as chicks can show up someplace and burn your city down. Because some black dude was, like, about to kill a woman. I mean, it's amazing. You all have fucked up so thoroughly. And the thing is, this is one of these where I don't have to do anything. I'm like really like sitting back like, should you even make a video about this? And it's like, really, I think for the women who are seeing through feminism, I think you really need, like, no, this, let me tell you, from the dark side of patriotism, from the dark side of nationalism, this is dark MAGA talking to you. I'm a lord of dark MAGA here. I'm a Hoff. There we go. Was it Prime Hoff? Was it the mighty Hoff? Of the Order of Dark MAGA, and from the Lodge of Kekistan, and oh my God, let me just tell you, I mean, it's just fucking over. You've been felted, and it will get worse. I really want you to understand. there's some economic stuff that I'm crunching still. I'm looking and I'm hearing and I'm like, I've got to find some stories that start buttressing this, because you will hate it. You women will hate it. It will make your lives suck more than anything else. It'll make your lives suck, and quickly, very, very quickly. Pleasure time, fun time, yay, yay, America, party in the USA. Motherfuckers, this is starting to look like it's coming to a very strange end of a sort. But I have to find out more information, because I'm hearing a lot. And where I'm hearing this is yeah, that's all I could say. I'm hearing a lot. And it's not like a bunch of friends drinking. So I'm hearing this like with kind of a professional, it's quasi-professional, and I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. I've got to look into that. I want to see if this is true before I start spouting it off, or really digging. All right. It is time for me to read more about the memoirs of Reinhard Gehlen. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling it won't happen unless I finish, just like America's Nazi Secret, that you get to the point where you find out, oh, and this is how that a bunch of these former Nazis had made it into the immigration service, and that's how they were changing the names of former Nazis to get in the United States. Holy shit. And I mean, and just that he was, by the end of it, he's just like, I can't believe I was totally betrayed by the FBI itself. That the FBI had its own people hiding these fucking Nazis from Congress, too. Congress tried to look into it in the 80s. And the FBI and the federal government was hiding them. And they were hiding them because these people were a part of the international everything that's illegal trade. They do all the things that are a part of illegal economics. And one other thing, HIMAR missile system on trucks. Okay, did you pick up on that? That they wanted that Ukraine said, could you put the HIMAR missile system, holy shit, on trucks? And of course somebody's coming toward me with a huge distance between me and everybody, all around. And what ends up happening is the HIMAR missile system on trucks, they said, well, we can't really do that. We actually have to construct an entirely new weapons platform for this. Well, what they're trying to do is to actually construct, very likely, a weapon system that is very similar to something called the Club K missile system. The Club K missile system just look that up. Club K missile system, and you just won't believe this thing exists. It very likely violates certain rules of war. And so that's why we don't see it around or in use yet. But that is the tightest kind of system I've seen. And these things exist. These things supposedly exist. And supposedly a lot about the realignment of power in the world is that these things, weapons like that are in play. And that there's a lot that people are trying to figure out what to do about new technology for vehicles such as batteries, new fuel, abilities to exploit fuel. And then there's these ways that various weapon systems can be designed and used that nobody had foreseen before, like the is it NEEM, the NEEM band. It's one of those athletic bands, and they found out that if you put I think it's called NEEM, and if you put the device on a laser scope, you could detect the heartbeat of a person via the laser mic, the heartbeat of a person 200 meters away, if I remember that. It's something like that. It's like 200 meters away. Like they would have no idea. They would have no idea that you're actually getting then also your heartbeat, because of the individual structure of how you are shaped, it echoes off of the inside of your body. So it's unique. So weapons like that's something that you could literally identify people in a crowd. So that's another part of it, like the whole college-educated white middle class dudes kind of are cleaning up on all you leftist idiots, like with Antifa and stuff like that. They've obviously, all these people have been in some way, shape, or form identified, or the government knows who they are, but they're allowed to just run riot because, well, they're white college-educated middle class kids on drugs. And I mean, they're no longer kids, but I mean, that's overwhelmingly who these people are. White liberal drug users and liberal commie idiots, but they're mostly white dudes. And I don't understand how none of you are seeing this, like that they're just getting away with committing crime, because they're liberals and they're white guys. I mean, it's like the Klan. Like, they're allowed to get away with it because they're Democrats and they're white guys. It's who the Democrats favor at the time gets to commit crime, and that's what's up. And they just, while you get the shaft, all of you women are getting the fucking shaft, literally and figuratively, and the future is not being designed for your welfare. They're designing it so that you will have a job. You will be able to get a job. That's all they're promising you. You'll be able to work. One day you'll be free if you work. Women. Yeah, that's it.